Yeah, I'm Rob Stone. This is my son Mason. It's a local show. We bring in local beers. Sometimes we bring in some Northern California beers. But we always bring in a local guest. I think we have one episode, and we haven't even put the episode up for no guest. But we always have a local guest. So like today we had Reno Dads on. We'll have a local artist like Bryce Chisholm or Chuck from Make Your Momentum, or hell, we have rap artists. We've had Chris Ackbat on the show. We've had Leon Starr on the show. So we do local guests each week. We do interviews with them. We feed the guest. We drink local beers, and we try to just promote local people. We try to really get after what's happening in town, what's happening in Reno. And we had Adam Heavenstrike. He's a MMA fighter. Right before one of his fights, and we had him on to promote his fight. So it's not that we're trying to do a big diverse thing. We're trying to do local. We're trying to be local. We're trying to be local with beers. We're trying to be local with artists. We're trying to be local with fighters. We're trying to be local with anybody that has anything to promote in the Reno Sparks area or Northern California. Hell, or Northern Nevada, not Northern California. But we had a guy from Elko here like 3 weeks back, and he's a rapper. And how many rappers do you know from Elko? Right? Seriously, Mike's over there laughing, but it's serious. You don't know any rappers from Elko, and he's great. He's awesome. And we had him on the show, and that's what we do. We're not looking for any notoriety. We're not looking for any publicity. We're not looking for anything other than to try to help other people out that are doing things. And then you get to see what I cook. You get the recipes from what I cook. And you get to enjoy the barbecue also. But we try to help people. That's the thing. That's the key. You know, we're trying to give people a push. I kind of started the show as a hobby, and kind of where Mason and I could, collaborate on something and spend a little more time together. And we got together, and I said, let's do this show, and I want you to help out. I want you to do the video. I want you to help out with, you and I will do the editing together. And so Mason does all of the audio and video. And then, during the week because the way it works is with Beards, Beers, and Barbecue, we shoot the episode on Saturday. And then we take Sunday off. We don't do anything on Sunday, right? We chill. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we work on video. So we'll do audio, editing, add music, add credits. Mason does all the credits, does all the recipes, and then we'll upload it on Wednesday or
Thursday.
We upload Thursday. What do we do on Wednesday with where we
sometimes we upload it Wednesday or get it up early Thursday.
Right. So, I mean, there's a lot to doing the show itself. I mean, there's a lot of hours involved because when we do the editing, we work 2 hours a night. It's not like we're just, we'll just do this and do that and do that. No, we're like full on. Like with our episode tonight, we're gonna work on it. We'll work on it on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then it'll be up on Thursday. But we work 6-8 hours on that just in the editing. That doesn't include the cooking or the prep for the cooking or all the outtakes because I can't get the words right, or talk about the recipes right when we're doing it. But Mason is there 100% as far as the editing, putting the credits in, putting in what do you call those things where you click on them and they go to another YouTube page?
Links or invitations.
Yeah, limitations. So, he's all about that, and he knows that stuff. And there's some things I don't know that he knows, and vice versa. I mean, there's little things that I know on the program we use that he doesn't know, and we just work it out and we do it together. Oh, I hate this son of a bitch so much. He's such an ass. No, it's great. It makes you closer because you're collaborating on something that you both believe in and you both work hard on and you both want to be really good. So let's say I'm making dinner one night and Mason's working on the credits. And this has happened. And it's not a big deal because it just happens. But there's something that comes up that there's a typo in the credits. Mason gets upset with himself because he wants it to be as perfect as I want it to be. And it just happens. It's not a big deal. Not like I get upset with him. It just happens, and it just makes you closer. It's a bond because you're both looking out for each other, and you both want a high quality product.
And it also gives us another thing to look to. The next week.
Yeah, the next week we're like, okay, we're gonna make sure that there's no typos at all. If it's supposed to say something like beer and it's spelled bear, and I did that, and it wasn't my fault.
At the end of the day, I really like meeting more of his friends and new people and experiencing new different personalities, and I just try to be the best person as I can be while they're here, and just focus on really having a good time rather than just making sure it's of course we want it to be good, but we don't want it just to be good for us. We want it to be good for the guests, and I really like working with the guests because you guys were our guests and you guys are really cool. And
whoa.
He's talking about
Dave's
me.
cool.
Dave's cool and not the other guy.
To be read.
We'll cut that in post.
Yeah. I only say shit like that because I've known Mike forever. You're gonna have to cut out the S word apparently. But I've known Mike for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And so it's I talk trash on him all the time. If I can.
Yep.
Here's the thing. It's not about really working the barbecue. It's about the way you cook on the barbecue. Because there's so many different styles of barbecue. You can use hardwood. You can use charcoal. You could use propane. You could use natural gas from your house. And it's not so much that the way you barbecue itself, it's the way you're cooking the food. It's all about the way you season it, how long you cook it, what you're doing as far as brining or marinating or salting it or peppering it or what the seasoning. That's the big deal there. Because you can do anything you want to do. Hell, you could smoke. Shit, today we did smoked chicken, and I used a regular kettle grill. It's not a smoker, but I smoked on a regular barbecue, and you can do that. So it's not so much how you're working the barbecue, but how you're making the meal delicious. I grew up in Reno, basically. I mean, I moved from Sturgis to Reno when I was 7 years old, and when we moved out here, barbecue wasn't a big deal to me. So I grew up. My dad always cooked frozen burgers, so just god awful, and most of the time they were turkey burgers, so they were piss poor. And I moved to Birmingham, Alabama, for a company hired me as a manager and I moved to Birmingham, and I really got into barbecue because that's a staple down there. Alabama's a barbecue staple. And when I moved back, I found that nobody was doing anything worth a damn barbecue-wise. And I'm like, okay, so I got to figure out how I'm going to make barbecue at home. That way, I can have my barbecue. So I kind of just worked it out, you know. A lot of internet research, a lot of test and fail, and test and fail, and test and fail. And then I just got it right. And then I just got it right. And then I just figured it out. You know, and when you figure it out with barbecue, you just figure it out. And when you figure out barbecue, you make everybody happy.
Like I'll hear like Rob like sometimes like talk to himself about this and that, like I get this now and I get that, and sometimes he'll give a reason and he'll be like, if I don't get this, then it'll be bad or whatever. And like those little things like teach me quite a lot for how little minuscule and how unspecial they are. Cause like one time I was on my computer and I was just like alone, and he calls me and he's like, he has a huge bowl with like these salt crystals and a huge stick in it, and he's like, all right, let me tell you why you put steak and you like mini dry age it. And he talked to me for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, that's pretty interesting actually.
So if we go to like a steakhouse, it's prime rib.
Absolutely.
And that's just because I haven't done one yet. But if I start doing prime rib,
Call me.
guess what? It's not going to happen. It won't happen. I won't order prime rib again. It'll be chicken or salmon or something like that. You know, I try to teach him how things work. You know, for instance, tonight we made the pulled chicken sandwiches. And we brine the chicken in salt, brown sugar, garlic, beer, and water. And some red pepper flakes, just for flavor. But the biggest thing there is the salt. Because what it does is it's going to break down the enzymes in the chicken. And it's going to make it more tender. So when you break it apart, it makes it super, super tender. And the chicken tonight was pretty good. I was pleased with it, and it had a nice sweet flavor to it. It broke down good, and then the barbecue sauce really helped because it was a brown sugar barbecue sauce. And then, you know, I teach him about how you make barbecue sauces, and the biggest thing is the spices that you put on, the spices and seasonings you put on the meat before you put it on the grill, because anybody can take a piece of chicken, throw it on the grill, and then put barbecue sauce on it. Big deal. It's what's underneath the barbecue sauce that matters. Well, it's great because when we invite people over, the only thing that we require is that you bring a 6-pack of local brew. Now, most people bring Great Basin because Great Basin has been a staple in Reno for years. But now we get people that will bring Imbibe, which is a great brewery. They make some fantastic sours. Or somebody will bring a Pigeon Head, which really turned me on to Pigeon Head. And I love what James and the guys are doing over there. They make great beers. But it works out really good for us because it just gives more diversity. I mean, it gives more options as far as beers. And with me, I'm a beer connoisseur. So, as far as beers go, I mean, I try to get beer, like, see, most times when we shoot an episode, we shoot on Friday night, and then we shoot on Saturday. So Friday night, the guest isn't here, obviously, so I have to make sure that we have something local or something in the area. So it gives me an opportunity to try a different type of beer. So, like, I'll go to, for instance, Stonyhead. You guys brought Stonyhead tonight, and I've had them on the show, beer-wise, and they make a great beer. They make a fantastic beer. And then I've had Imbibe on the show. I've had Revision on the show. I've had Pigeonhead on the show. You know, it's great for us because we can use different types of beers and not have to do the same thing over and over. You know, like, you go to a certain place in the country and they have one local brewery. But here, we have options. I can go, I mean, hell, I've got a growler from Imbibe. I can go to Imbibe, Pigeonhead, Revision. I mean, and Revision's a new brewery, and I get beer from them. And it's fantastic. Every place in town has got great beers. Brasserie St. James. You guys brought Brasserie tonight, and Brasserie's been on the show as far as beers. It's great for us because the beer scene in Reno is blowing up, and there's a lot of good brewers in town. And as long as they continue to try to succeed beyond what they've been doing, they're going to continue to make great beers. So it works out really, really good for the show.